The chapel in downtown Chicago, USA, was filled with an uncomfortable silence. Crystal chandeliers reflected off polished marble floors, and rows of powerful business figures sat dressed in black. At the front lay a sleek, silver casket holding Evelyn Monroe, a billionaire real estate tycoon whose sudden death had shocked the nation. News channels had already labeled it the end of an era. Doctors confirmed it, lawyers signed off on it, her family accepted it. Everyone except the janitor. Thomas Reed, a 52-year-old night janitor, stood quietly near the back, gripping his mop handle like a lifeline. He had worked in this building for over 20 years, invisible to most, ignored by nearly everyone. But Thomas had a past no one here knew. Before life knocked him down, he had been a certified combat medic in the U.S. Army. As the pastor began the final prayer, Thomas felt a chill crawl up his spine. Something was wrong. He stared at the casket, not out of curiosity but concern. Earlier that morning, while cleaning the side hallway near the preparation room, Thomas had briefly seen Evelyn Monroe's body before the lid was sealed. Her skin was pale, yes, but not lifeless in the way he remembered from the battlefield. No stiffness, no unmistakable signs. And now, standing there, Thomas noticed it again. A pause. A breath. "No, it can't be," he whispered. The pastor raised his voice. "We now commit her body to eternal rest." "Wait." The word exploded through the chapel. Gasps filled the room, heads turned, security stiffened. Thomas stepped forward, heart pounding. "She's not dead," he said loudly, his voice shaking but firm. "Stop this funeral, now." The billionaire's son, Marcus Monroe, jumped to his feet, furious. "Who let this man in here? This is disgusting." Security rushed toward Thomas. "She has a pulse," Thomas shouted. "It's faint, but it's there. I've seen this before. Catalepsy, coma-like states. You're about to bury a living woman." Laughter rippled through the crowd, nervous, mocking laughter. A doctor scoffed. "Sir, with all due respect, this woman was examined by top specialists at Northwestern Memorial Hospital." Thomas clenched his fists. And top specialists make mistakes, especially when money, pressure, and time are involved. Security grabbed his arms. "Check her," Thomas yelled desperately. "Put a monitor on her, just 1 minute. If I'm wrong, I'll leave quietly." The room fell silent again. Marcus hesitated. The media cameras were rolling. Any mistake, any scandal, would explode across America. Finally, with visible anger, Marcus snapped, "Fine. 1 minute, prove it." The casket was opened. A nurse placed her fingers on Evelyn Monroe's wrist. 5 seconds passed. 10. Then, her eyes twitched. The nurse froze. "Oh my God." A faint heartbeat appeared on the portable monitor. Screams erupted. "She's alive," someone shouted. Thomas collapsed to his knees as doctors rushed forward, panic replacing arrogance. And as paramedics stormed in, one truth became clear. A forgotten janitor had just saved a billionaire's life. But this was only the beginning. The funeral chapel erupted into chaos. Doctors shouted instructions, paramedics pushed through stunned mourners, and the media cameras, once focused on grief, now captured panic. Evelyn Monroe, the woman declared dead by the best specialists money could buy, was rushed out of the building on a stretcher, oxygen mask strapped to her face. Standing off to the side, Thomas Reed watched silently, his knees still trembling. No one laughed now. No one mocked him. The same people who had ignored him minutes earlier stared as if he were a ghost. At Northwestern Memorial Hospital, a team of neurologists confirmed the impossible. Evelyn had suffered a rare neurological shutdown, cataleptic paralysis, triggered by a medication interaction. Her heart rate had dropped so low it escaped standard detection. She had been conscious, trapped inside her body, hearing everything, including the funeral prayers. 12 hours later, Evelyn Monroe opened her eyes. Her first words were barely a whisper. "Find the janitor." By morning, the story dominated every major U.S. news outlet. Janitor Stop's funeral, billionaire found alive. The nation was stunned. Lawsuits were already forming. Doctors were suspended pending investigation. But Evelyn wanted only one thing. Thomas Reed was escorted into a private hospital suite that looked more like a luxury hotel than an ICU. He hesitated at the door, uncomfortable in his worn uniform. "You saved my life," Evelyn said softly, her voice weak but clear. "Why?" Thomas swallowed. "Because no one deserves to be buried alive." Tears filled her eyes. "Everyone here saw a billionaire. You saw a human." In the days that followed, Evelyn recovered quickly, stronger than anyone expected. And she did not forget. She learned everything about Thomas. The Army service, the medals he never mentioned, the wife he lost to cancer, the medical career he abandoned to pay hospital bills. While the world praised him as a hero, Evelyn did something quieter and far more powerful. She fired the hospital board responsible for the rushed declaration of death. She funded a national program to prevent premature death declarations in U.S. hospitals. And then, she rewrote her will. At a press conference 1 week later, Evelyn stood beside Thomas, holding his hand. "This man reminded me that titles mean nothing," she said. "Integrity means everything." She offered Thomas a position as Director of Patient Safety across her hospital network, along with full medical retraining, lifetime financial security, and ownership shares. Thomas tried to refuse. Evelyn smiled. "This isn't charity, this is justice." The crowd erupted in applause. That night, as Thomas walked out of the hospital under flashing lights, he realized something profound. He hadn't just saved a life, he had reclaimed his own. And across America, one story echoed loud and clear.